Hey, we are back into familiar territory, and I think that I just need to get that tad bit more food, and then we're good to go. While that furnace is cooking away in there, I will start cooking away out here. We will go over the items that we are taking with us one more time. And so, you want some food. You want some blocks. You want a pickaxe. You want a sword. It doesn't have to be the greatest sword. Although last time we fought the Ender Dragon, you found a way to hit it with a sword. You knocked out like half its damage, or like half its health in just a couple of seconds. That was terrifying. I think I got it on camera. I wonder if I can find it. It's not like I'm overly concerned with the food for the actual Ender Dragon fight. I'm more concerned about the food for traveling in the end, finding end fortresses, because that can take a while sometimes. Let's mention the data pack thing one more time. However, you will be happy to hear that this is a data pack I am choosing not to use this time. There is an option, if you want to save time, to get a data pack also from Exumavoid's Vanilla Tweaks website, to instead of having to trek for hours through the end to find end fortresses, battle them, and whatnot, to hope you're lucky enough to get one that has an elytra in it. You can actually download his data pack that makes it so that the Ender Dragon itself drops an elytra. And so long as it doesn't accidentally fall in the end portal that it creates, you have an elytra to fly around in there. So that's a nice thing. But like I said, I don't have that activated because part of this little guide was to show you how to do things. And if I just completely skipped how to find those end fortresses and be like, oh, just fly there, it would kind of defeat the purpose. What was it? What did I come in here for? Oh, the food in the furnace, that's what. So I almost have about a stack of food. I can bring extra weird food, I guess, but we are pretty much ready. So the only thing I'm missing right now, I think, is some gunpowder. You want to have some gunpowder and some gun paper to make fireworks. So that when you do get an elytra, you don't have to make that same several hour trek back to get back home, and that you can just go ahead and craft some fireworks right there and go ahead and fly away with it. I think I mentioned a long time ago that you don't need mending for this, because by the time you get done with the Ender Dragon fight and stuff, like, your tools will be close to breaking but not completely broken. That was a lie with my pickaxe for sure, because that ran out. And then an elytra. You definitely want to put mending on an elytra. So if you are still looking for things to do while you are waiting to get ready at this point, I would recommend getting a librarian locked up and grinding out his little lectern thing until you get mending, because you will need that eventually. If you have plans for after the end of Minecraft. Hey, look, creeper right there. So what I think I'm going to do is just spend a quick night hunting creepers, so that I can get some gunpowder. And realistically, I should be doing this with a sword and not a bow, because I have looting. Where'd he go? There's a cow. Oh wait, he's down there. I don't think I even knew about this hole down here. If you really wanted to, you can put the sword in your offhand and kill stuff with the bow anyway, and it will still give you that looting effect, just in case you were wondering. And if you have a crossbow, then it's even cooler because you can use them both at the same time. You can shoot from a crossbow in your offhand and use the sword in your main hand, so that's kind of rad. I don't want to fight creepers on a hill though, so I'm going to go find a more open area, and I don't think I ever found a horse in this world. Or I may have found one, but I didn't have a saddle at the time. But I need some gunpowder, so bring them on. You have my permission this time. It's like day 90 and I'm finally fighting stuff. Nice. Nice. It deserved that. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. Hey! I got a disc. And it's red, my favorite. I don't know what it is, but... Alright, the sun is up and we can finally be done with this. And I'm probably just going to raid that entire field of strawberries and call that the last of my food. I think I just realized I didn't have fire aspect on my sword. That's something I usually try and get, but not this time. So we started the night with 30 gunpowder, and now, after that last one, we have a stack and a half. That is good. That is very good. Now let's raid this farm. Well, if I got more than a stack, then I will replant some of it. I got 3 stacks. Alright. I can replant it. There we go. We're ready to go. We are finally ready to go. So that checklist, remember to bring your golden apple. Remember to bring some food. Remember to bring a bow either with a ton of arrows or with the infinity enchantment on it. Get yourself a sword, some decent armor, definitely with feather falling on it as high as you can get it. Then you got your food. Did I pick up the last of my food off that campfire? No, I did not. You want to bring a ton of blocks for the end. Bring a trapdoor, because if you are going to the end, I don't want you trying to use an ender pearl to go through the obelisk in the gateway. And like I've mentioned before, I can just do this to get into a prone crawling position, but you will definitely need a trapdoor to do that. Got the food, got the ender eyes to light a portal, got some glass bottles, got some wood, got the carved pumpkin head, got a pickaxe, got the gunpowder and paper to make fireworks. And that is just about it. Another thing to go over, you want to get your sounds back where you want them to be. Also in your video settings, you want to, I think I already have it set, but the particles, turn that to minimal, because right now the ender dragon, his purple ender breath or whatever, is very laggy with particles. Way too laggy with particles. And so if you want to have any hope of doing this, you want to turn that down. Some people recommend a potion of slow falling or the water buckets. Speaking of water bucket, let's get that in our inventory here. The water bucket is probably not going to save you. It's got a pretty low chance of working in the way that you want it to. And then the potion of slow falling, I've learned you have to just have it going already during the fight. First time I tried to use that, I tried to wait until I was thrown into the air and then use it. You don't have the time to drink it in that case. But I guess if you want to make that, it can help you in a few different ways there, but making potions is kind of rough, if you ask me. It takes a lot of effort. And I think for that one you need the phantom membrane, which I guess isn't too hard to get a hold of. And now that we are in here, just remember that this place is just a tad on the dangerous side, and careful around corners. Keep your shield on. You can get lost in here, but I never really was concerned about getting lost in here enough to where I tried to like mark where I was going or anything like that. I always just kept moving around and I found my way eventually. Over here. Nothing. Let me out. Let me out. Don't let me in, let me out. I think I came from that way, yeah. Hey, I found it. Break this thing. That's not necessary. Alright. So we got one freebie. Oh boy. So with this being on hardcore, this is usually where I do my final check to make sure I have everything. I always forget something, so future recalling will put it on the screen what thing I forgot right here. I was going to say to put beds down here, but this is hardcore, so there's no respawning, so that doesn't matter. Sometimes I put out that lava there thinking that I might lag my way through the portal and land in it, but that's never happened once. Just take a note of your coordinates. If it's not nearby a house and you think you're gonna come back here, yeah, pretty much ready to go. Put that there. Put that there. Don't know why I have string. So before you jump in there, go ahead and switch your helmet to the pumpkin. The default texture pack makes it very hard to see with the pumpkin head on. You can see that I have it edited where it's pretty much the same thing, but a little bit more transparent. You can generally use the middle top of the mouth or so between the eyes to know that, like, oh, your crosshair is just right above this. If you watch Phil in his Minecraft hardcore stuff, he just goes in third person and he snipes with a bow in third person. It's really ridiculous. But just put this on for right now so that we don't have to worry about the Enderman. The actual Ender Dragon himself doesn't really do a lot of damage to you other than if you stand in his fire or if he throws you in the air. And so we're just going to use our eyes to not stand in his fire, and we have feather falling for when he throws us in the air. Just remember to eat food, and you got the apple if you're scared. Yeah. And so you can either spawn inside the ground over there or way off to the side like this. I honestly think I prefer spawning in the ground because I don't want him to fly over here and whack me off the edge right now. I'm very horrified of that, actually. If you wanted to bring an extra ender pearl for that scenario, just in case, that sounds like a good idea. Looks like I'm almost there, though. Okay, I'm not out of the woods yet. Still gotta just make it up to that main island. Because the Ender Dragon can fly through most blocks, especially Endstone. I think that's like the main one that he's able to fly through. I think other ones he flies through it and breaks them, whereas with Endstone he just phases through it, that and Obsidian. So these Endermen are going to leave me alone right now, which is good. I'm going to get the bow out and start getting to work on this. It is possible to do this in third person. I just don't have as much practice as other people. Alright, going back into first person. We all know how to do this fight, so... he is very loud. I'm going to fix that for you because I know that's going to be bad. Turn that way down. But I put a new texture on him this first time I get to do it. Nice. Now let's do this when I got a chance. And somehow... yeah. Awesome. Okay, sword does help with that. I guess when he's invincible right there, when he drops that to start flying again, it takes him a minute to get flying again. It's awesome. He's healing though. Oh, I didn't think about that. It is dangerous though, because if the wings hit you, you get literal yeeted. And get to feel that goofy noise of him whenever he was falling a great distance. I need to have that sound saved on my computer somewhere. Yahoo! Man, it is hard to judge distance. There we go. I think also because I'm lagging a bit, I have to hold the bow for just a tad longer than I want to. Oof, ouch. Hey, don't do that. There we go. I feel like for a giant dragon that doesn't want me to be here and doesn't want me to blow these things up, he does a really bad job at stopping me. He's definitely got the enderman. And I think I'll probably be accidentally picking up ender pearls if I stick around them. Now, I'd be terrified of this if I didn't have the pumpkin helmet on, because he got me down to 4 hearts there by doing that little flyby. I don't think he can kill you with that, unless you're like running away from him and happen to get hit in extra time, so don't try and sprint away from that, I guess? I don't know. I don't usually make it this far in these, I'll be honest. Something kills me most of the time. I hope they update this fight one day, because it's kind of a pushover. Hey, don't do that. Like, it can be hard if you're afraid of it, but if you're not afraid of it, like, it's really not that bad. And it's kind of boring, if I'm honest. Like, why do I have to see this giant dragon and then just keep going around and shooting arrows at these things? Like, I don't know. Especially when Endermen are known for teleporting, and he's like king of the Endermen or something. Like, this could be something way scarier. Hey, don't do that. It threw me a little bit, not much. That's where the feather falling helps. Did I actually hit that up there? Hey, show me what you heal from. Do you heal anymore? Yeah, I'm still healing from that. One more, last one. Did I get it? Oh, there we go. There we go. Alright. That sure took quite a few tries. And then, after you're done with that part of the fight, it's time to pretend you can hit him with arrows, because he turns around so often, you almost have no chance at hitting them, but we got infinity, so why not? I contemplated making this guy green so he'd be like Elvard from RuneScape, but I thought a black dragon seemed more menacing, and I also thought a green dragon here would look really weird. Coming down. Afraid to do this, because you can sure hit you pretty high. Ooh, or just like that. Oh, I think that was just a fire. Ooh, that was some good damage. I'm afraid to do that. It sure speeds up the fight, but I wonder if the distance that he throws you in the air has something to do with like what angle he hits you at with his wings. Because I think the hitbox on this guy, these ones, his hitbox is kind of weird. Oh, it's extra weird. I don't think I've seen that before. Oh, no wonder why it's so hard to hit him. It doesn't even follow him very well. Interesting. But I think it's the wings that are the thing that actually do damage to you. I'm all confused now. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's turn that back off after I get to a safe spot. Oops. That was F3 and B, if you want to know. Because as much as I say that you only need feather falling for this, it mostly is just if you're using the bow and arrow, because you don't get shot into the air very often if you're just using bow and arrow on them, because you never get close enough to him to be thrown into the air. But I know sometimes he can really throw you really high. Yeah. Maybe it's just a matter of hitting his neck. Oh. Well, I think I can finish it off the rest of the way like that. Or like that. Or like that. There we go. Yay! And you did it. You beat the Ender Dragon. In some cases, you might consider that beating your hardcore world. Although there is an end after the end, so we should include that too. I'm not going to mess with that egg for right now. There's that thing off in the distance. The obelisk. Did you bring that trapdoor like I said? Because now is when you're going to need it. Also, you would probably want some ender pearls, but let's do this first. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to cut it off there until the next episode, which will be up real soon.